Bar, bar, car. Far, bar, car. Well, hello and welcome back to another very strange episode of OmathaCraft. It is episode 67, and before we log on to the server, well, I didn't want to start the episode on the server because I need to speak normally before we start this thing, so you understand why we're doing what we're about to do. So take a look at this flashback from the last episode.
I'm going to love this. Rover,
Hello?
I dare you to do your next OmathaCraft episode in an American accent.
Oh no! Oh no! And here we are. It is episode 67, and I don't know where to begin. I have no idea how to speak with an American accent. So this won't sound American in any way, shape or form. I have not practiced for this. And it will probably sound like every other accent you've ever heard, all merged together in one, with a very strong sense of a British undertone accent. So without further ado, let's log on to the OmathaCraft Season 4 server and start today's video. So... I can't do this. Hello and welcome back to another episode here on the OmathaCraft Season 4 server. It is episode 67, and in today's episode we're back here at the gaming district, and I'm really struggling already. Now, things over here in the gaming district have clearly changed quite a bit since you last saw it over here. In the last episode, we walked on this big spleef and the slime in the sky with the cloud and all that business. And the brand new minigame is now up and running. I had a little bit of decoration down at the bottom, but obviously the main big change you may see here on the island is that there is now a massive ice track going around the whole island. As a side note, I'm still really struggling, and the way I'm doing it is just basically by screwing up my face and making weird sounds. So in between episodes, I have been creating this massively long boat race track. Now, if you remember all the way back into Season 3 of OmathaCraft, towards the end, we built up something similar, but this one is on a much, much bigger scale. This in no way, shape or form is an American accent. In today's episode, it's going to be a little bit shorter because I don't think I can do this sound for much longer, but we are going to be decorating this thing, and I've started to do some of that business down below. As we can see, the small additions we are going to be making is adding blackstone to the bottom, which just makes this thing look much, much more refined and finished, which is what we're going for compared to what it looks like just over there. And I keep slipping back into a British accent, which is really hard and really quite difficult. So, well, let's give this boat race a go, and I am going to put some music to it, and we're going to go around the boat race because I don't want to talk for it. So, flying around the boat race, as you can see, we have some cool sections. We've got a section which goes right down underneath the ocean, just like this. We go through a nice big glass tunnel, a little bit like an aquarium, up into the bubble elevator, which takes us right up to the top. And then we have one of my favourite sections, but probably the most difficult, which is the loop. This is a sideways loop. The loop, we've got a nice big circle, which is an actual circle. I did measure it out because I wanted to make sure this was nice and smooth and looked really good. That there is a centre block in case we need that while decorating, and then what we got to do is we swing around the edge on this nice diagonal straight, then we swoop between the corners, and then we head down underground. Now, down underground, we have been terraforming the gaming district just a little bit to make it a bit more usable with a little bit more grass everywhere, and then we're going underneath this area which used to be exposed but obviously now has a roof on it. I've got a couple of ideas of things I'd like to do. I'd like to add a bit of a Blackstone cave or something going around here. And we seem to be going a little bit Australian now with the accent. And then we have the two boosters just here. So we go into the bubble elevator with our boat, and that takes us right up to the top. And then we go into the second booster, which is a diagonal one. That took a little bit of figuring out on how that one was going to work, but that one works pretty good just like the others. And then we follow it right around the corner, and then we have our finishing line just here. Now I added a tiny bit of of redstone because obviously it is me, and I thought I'd add a little bit of redstone to this system. So let's activate it. This is what you do before your race starts, and what we have is we have these blocks here are raised up, so no players can cheat and start going before the game begins. And then when a player unflicks the lever, you will see that the lights will count down. When the last light turns off, that is when the track is lowered. Players can then start. It should work pretty good, and I'm quite excited. So the fundamentals for our track are actually done, but like I said earlier on, what I want to be doing is I want to make this thing look good. So to do that, we got a lot of bit of decorating to do, and the first thing I'm doing is add a whole bunch of blackstone slabs underneath the track, which just finalizes it, and every so often I'm adding these polished blackstone brick pillars, which just are supporting this track up just a little bit. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go around, mark out where we want these pillars to go. Once we've done that, we will then have to go in and do the arduous task of placing in all of these blackstone slabs, which I tell you what, it involves a lot of scaffolding, and I've only done that short little bit there. So let's crack on with it. Firstly, let's go around and place down all of these pillars. And with those last 3 blocks, look what we've done. We have now completed the underside of the race course the entire way round. We have these struts in place, as you can see. They're in their positions underneath with these pillars, and we have the regular uncut blackstone on the bottom. And this really does begin to really bring this together and technically ties this build completely done to the stage we want it completed. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to work on the tunnel. We've done the underside, but this area in here is not looking that great. So therefore we've got to work out what we want to do, and again the accent is really going very, very strange at the moment, but we'll go with it. So in here what I'm thinking is we are going to grab a whole bunch of these blackstone blocks just like this, and what I want to do is make some kind of sort of cave sort of thing like we've carved right through this. So we're going to craft all of these slabs, which I was using for the underside, back into blocks, and what I'm thinking is right on the top of these blocks here we're going to have this, and we're sort of going to curve up so it's a really sort of narrow-ish tunnel that's cut the whole way through here, and then we'll be hiding away all of that mycelium and grass and dirt that we don't actually want to be seeing. Now once we've done that, there is one more thing that I want to do, which is technically another mini game in itself, but I thought this would fit brilliantly to this area down here. So obviously we've got our big loop-the-loop circle just here, and in the middle I was thinking we've got to put something in here. What's circular and would be pretty cool for a gaming district? And something that isn't here already, well, that is a PvP arena. I want to put a PvP arena in here, and I think it's going to look pretty cool. We're going to come back to that. We want to finish the cave first for the tunnel going through, but we're going to come back here, and I'm thinking some sort of gladiatorial arena right in the middle of there. It should fit really quite nicely. But firstly, let's get back to the cave, and let's get placing blocks. And here we go. Our tunnel is done, and as you can see, we've just gone for a nice blackstone curved look, and it's nice and simple. We've used stairs and slabs just to give this curved shape, but still fairly low, as if this has just been a really flat tunnel carved through the hillside just here. And you'll also notice, if we head it back to the top, you'll see that I've also done a tad bit of terraforming. This will eventually be grass when we convert all of this, but obviously that will spread to mycelium just for the time being. And yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. We've done a similar thing right on the other side, just around here. As you'll see, we terraformed the side, and yeah, just smartened this up just a little bit, and obviously gives just that little bit more flat space. But now what I want to do is I want to incorporate the other part of this game, because obviously this can be multiplayer, but it can also be single player. We can make this a game to get your best time. We can get your personal best board going up. So that's what I want to set up eventually. I want to get a nice personal best board, maybe around here, or I'll do it down below. We'll have to work out how we're going to incorporate this area up here and make a nice easy way to get up there. But now I think it's time for us to get our personal best. Now that was a good run. We'll have to calculate that one up, but I think that was just around the 1:18 mark, but I will make sure to go back and double check that timing before we add it to the board. But obviously, now we need to make that board. Now, I have verified my time, and what we're going to see is if we head up to this brand new podium area, and we just flap the top, just like that, we'll see we've got a whole bunch of rules. I'm not going to read it out, because I think that'll make me suffer even more than I already am. But if you want to read that, pause the video, and you can take a look at those signs. And here is the time trial scores, and we're going to add ours to it. So I'm going to just put mine on the end here. I have verified our time. Let's grab a bird sign, and I am going to put mine in. And there we go, that is our personal best so far. Now, I will probably want to beat this at some point soon, but now we're going to go and head over and work on the gladiatorial arena. Now, we've headed over here to Pyro's base in the Townie district because he has said we can grab hold of a few stacks of basalt off of him, which is going to save us up from crafting and grinding all of our basalt out. Now, he's asked for us to leave about 8 stacks left, so I'm going to just shift-click them out. We'll see how much of the other stuff he's got, if he's got some lying around anywhere else, which it doesn't seem he does, so let's pop 8 stacks back. And because we're a good friend, we'll leave him 10 diamonds in the chest for him to find. So next up, we're going to be working over here at the Gladiator Arena, and as you can see, what we've done is we started by marking out the circle back down on the ground underneath the racetrack. And what I have done on just the first quarter is I have put in this basalt setup. Now the idea is up here, you're going to be able to have your spectators being able to walk around the entire thing. We'll be able to walk through these pillars just here, and then they'll be able to see the match happening down below. Now we're not going to set very many rules for this. This could be used for any sort of game possible, but one thing I think we should do is replace the entire grass floor with sand. But first, we definitely got to place down a whole bunch of basalt. We're building up these back walls, and as you can see, we're going to build them around. We're using the regular basalt at the back, and then we're using our polished basalt at the front, and it is, yeah, looking pretty good. I think we might have to add these glass panes along the rim back down here as well, because I think that might just make it a little bit better. And with that block there, look, and there we go. We have replaced the entire floor with sand. And where's my sandbox? There, we only have a little bit left. That was an entire shulker box worth of sand placed down onto the floor. But I tell you what, that really does make quite a big difference. Really does feel quite a bit like a gladiatorial arena right now. So next up, what are we going to be doing to make this actually function as a gladiatorial arena? Well, one thing you can't do yet is access these top balconies. I mean, you can walk the whole way around them when you're up here, but there is no way to get into them, so we're going to have to fix that up. And we're also going to have to make an entrance for the contestants down the bottom. We're going to assume this is a 2-player PvP game, so I think we'll have one entrance to the arena just here for the first team, and then the second team entrance will be on that side just there. And if we break inside, let me show you, we've got a little bit of room, we've got enough space, we can plonk down a bed, and then we can actually use the insides of these tunnels just here to get round to where we are going to put the entrance, which I think is going to be around this sort of area up there. So let's crack on and let's put some bubble streams in place so the players can get right up to the top up there, and the gladiators can get to their home bases so they can set their spawn and such alike. And the boat race is now complete, and if we swoop down inside, let me show you around. Currently all my shulker boxes are right down in the middle, but obviously they will be shifted out of the way, and it's quite a bit of a chess monster. Look at the amount of shulker boxes that I've managed to get out while building this thing and the boat race. It's quite impressive. On each side, they're both identical. We have the blue side and we have the red side right over there. You can see the red beds, but we have chests that can support up to 3 players, so 3 different players can set their spawn on these beds. And then they have some chests and an end chest just in case they need to store some items. Then we follow through the tunnels. They're a little bit dark, but that doesn't matter. They're not really going to be seen that much. And then we have this little landing zone just down here. This is where our players are going to come down, and if they're on the blue team, they're obviously going to walk down that tunnel, and red team similarly walk down that tunnel. Then we have a bubble elevator which will take them up to the surface, and this here is the entrance. We've got a little bit of info just on that wall just there. This is obviously the spectator area, and then if we wander up top, I have a little staircase coming out of the arena, and I tell you what, I am loving the look of this. When you walk down here, it really does feel like one of those go-karting arenas, and with this area down here, it's absolutely looking awesome. Currently this links to nowhere, but I think we have some plans for some pathways which will be coming to the gaming district very, very soon. But I tell you what, I'm impressed with the progress we have made in today's episode. Maybe more of it was a little bit more off camera, but I think that's because I've been struggling to record with trying to put on this stupid accent. Tune in to the next episode where I'll be able to talk normally once again, and I cannot wait for that. But anyway, back to this weird accent that we're doing, and we might be here in the gaming district doing a little bit more work, or we might be working on some old projects that need finishing up on the server. So make sure to tune in for the next episode next time. But that is all the time I have for today's video, so if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.